Hi, Edison families, and welcome to our family video series. This is the first video in a series of four. Today's topic is going to be our tech talk. We're going to be discussing technology. Next week, we are going to be talking about support in a second language. The week after, we're going to be talking about student engagement. And the last week, we're going to be talking about home life and self-care. These are going to be on Mondays, the live Zoom sessions from 6 to 6:30, and then we'll send out these recordings as well for those of you who can't make it to those meetings. During the meetings, you will have a chance to ask your questions, and we can answer them live and in person. But today, we are going to be sharing the recording. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Miss Ton. I am the Library Media Specialist and Title I teacher here at Edison. A lot of you might know me as the tech support teacher. If you've called the school for any tech help or had an issue with the Chromebook, you probably talked to me. And today we're going to be talking about technology. Before I get started, real quick, I wanted to emphasize the importance of attendance. Even during our distance learning, we want to make sure that your student is attending all of their synchronous sessions, as many as they can. And we do have an expectation that if something's going wrong with technology or anything, that you do try to troubleshoot before your student does not attend their class. If you're having any issues, or if kiddo is with a caregiver during the day, or you need the student to call, we are always here to help. You can talk to me, you can call the front office. We are more than understanding that tech issues happen. They're gonna happen, and that's okay. And if we need to excuse the absence, we will, but we want to make sure that there's some troubleshooting done as well. And we are always here. Later in this meeting, actually, I'll be giving you some contact information for people that you can contact if you run into a little bit of a tech situation. So today we're going to be talking about technology. This is our tech talk. And in this meeting, we are going to be covering first the common issues that you might have as a parent, or your students might have. So we're going to be troubleshooting Zoom, we're going to be troubleshooting Chromebooks, and then after that we're going to discuss contacts, who to call if you run into a bit of a situation and you need some help walking through things. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is how to log into our most used sites, the sites that your kiddo is going to be on almost every day. So before we start, quick reminder, technology will go wrong at some point. It's just, it's not going to go the way you expect always. Remember to be flexible. Talk to your kiddos about being flexible. Give yourself some grace. We are all here to support you here at Edison. All of our staff is more than happy to take your calls and make sure that you can get on and use your technology. So, without further ado, we're going to start talking about the common issues you might have with Zoom. So we've gotten a lot of calls that are talking about some of the messages that you might see on Zoom. So I wanted to discuss them and talk about a little bit of what they mean. So the first one right here that says, "Please wait, the meeting host will let you in soon." That is something that me or the secretaries or your teacher will refer to as the waiting room. This means that you have connected to your child's Zoom meeting. If you're not let in, that is on the teacher's side. They need to be admitting you. If you have the correct link, then it's either just loading or the teacher is waiting to admit you. My suggestion to families is our teachers have a little notification bell set up. And our teachers got a lot going on. They usually have 2 or 3 monitors up. They're trying to teach and watch their students on the screen here. So a lot of times they get, the notification is kind of small. So a lot of times hearing that little beep again can be helpful. So my suggestion is to sign out and try signing back in really quick. If that's not working, it's probably just taking a minute to load. Give it a few minutes. And if you're still having issues, then you can go ahead and call the school. The next message, it says, please wait for the host to start this meeting. And then on there, it'll have the meeting title and maybe a start time. This means you have connected to the link. Double check the name to make sure it's the correct link. But it means the host just hasn't logged in yet. If you're logging into the Zoom a little bit early, just give the teacher a few minutes. I'm sure they'll log in. You're just going to stay on this screen and wait for the host to log in. If you're waiting a while, or if you are in 4th or 5th grade, especially because I know that they have 2 different links, make sure you've clicked the right link so that you're double checking that you're in the correct link. Then the last one, this is probably something that you saw at the very beginning when we started. This is when you first join a meeting for the first time, or if your computer shuts down for some reason and needs to restart, you'll get this message. So when you're joining a meeting, it should automatically log you in, and the only thing you're going to need to enter is your screen name. Your screen name, we want to make sure it is your student's at least first name. You can add last name, especially if you know there are other students in that class with the same name as your kiddo. So you need to make sure that it's your student's name in that screen name, though, because it's a security reason. We want to make sure that we're only letting in our students into our Zoom meeting. So we want to make sure your screen name is your student's name. Our teachers won't let students in if they have a different screen name, even if it's like a nickname or something, because it's not easily identifiable. So the next most common issue that we have with Zoom is audio and visual troubleshooting. We're going to talk about audio first. So the first thing, if you are having a hard time either with your microphone or your speaker, so having a hard time, your teacher's having a hard time hearing you, or you're having a hard time hearing your teacher, the first thing you're going to check is down by your mute button, there's a little up arrow. On there, you're going to get a message that says same as system or internal mic. The first thing you're going to do is toggle between those two. By toggle, I mean click back and forth and see if that works for you. Sometimes it just needs a little reboot. If that doesn't work for you, then I want you to go over to audio settings. To get to audio settings on the Chromebook, you're going to click that bottom right-hand corner where the time is, and then right by the volume button, you'll see a little arrow. That arrow is going to bring you into audio settings. So right here, you can see the output and the input. You especially want to check this if your student uses headphones from time to time, because those things can get mixed up. So you want to make sure that it's on the correct settings. If that still doesn't work, then go ahead and call the school and we'll figure out what's going on. Video feed, we'll talk about next, is a little more tricky. Video feed, the first thing you should do, and we're going to tell you to do this if you call us, the first thing we're going to ask is that you completely shut down your computer and restart it. That seems to work a lot of the time. So the first thing I would do if your video feed is not working is just shut off that computer and turn it back on. If that didn't work for you and your video feed still is not working, you want to make sure that you're double checking join with video in Zoom too, just to make sure that you have the video feed on Zoom. But the next thing you're going to try is to clear the browsing data and then shut the computer off and turn it back on. We'll cover what clearing the browsing data and how to do that a little bit later. If that doesn't work, especially with visual feed, we want you to call the school, because that's usually like an internal issue or something with the webcam is wrong. So go ahead and call the school and we'll figure out the situation. The next one is if your video feed is blurry or glitchy. We're going to talk about a few error messages you might get and ways you can handle that. So the first thing, typically it's an internet connection issue if your video is glitchy. So you want to make sure that you're connected to strong Wi-Fi, or if you're using a hotspot, that you're getting a good signal from your hotspot. If you need help troubleshooting your internet, you can call your internet provider, or if you're using a hotspot, there is a hotline in the paper we gave you with the hotspot, or you feel free to call the school and we can walk you through it. The next thing you might want to do, especially if it's a blurry image, is check the webcam. So on the actual webcam, you can clean it off. I would just recommend getting a tissue and just wiping it off with a tissue, see if that helps. If not, look at that webcam and see if there's any dents or scratches. That could be affecting the video feed for your student. There also could be 2 potential error messages that could be affecting the video feed. One is the high CPU error message, and the other is internet unstable. These are both referring to your internet connection. If you're getting these messages, it means for some reason, either the bandwidth or the connection of the internet is having an issue. If you're getting this message, it's pretty normal for Chromebooks. We even experience that message here with Zoom at the school on our Wi-Fi. It's pretty normal. If it happens like once or twice or every now and again, you don't need to worry about it. The only time we really need to worry about those messages is if you're getting them constantly. If you're getting them, 10, 15 times during a Zoom meeting and you just can't hear anything, then we'll want to troubleshoot with you and figure out how to better your internet connection. So now we're going to talk about troubleshooting our actual devices, our Chromebooks. And I'm actually going to give you guys just one big tip that solves most issues with the Chromebook, and that is clearing your browsing data. Chromebooks don't store a lot of data on their hard drives, so it can get backed up pretty easily, and you're going to want to do this on a regular basis to keep your logins going smoothly, your internet running smoothly, your Chromebook running smoothly. So in order to do this, the first thing you're going to do is right below where you exit out of your web browser, there are 3 dots. You're going to go ahead and click that, and that is going to open this gray box right here. You're going to scroll down to more tools and hover over it. And then you're going to get this right here. It says clear browsing data, and you're going to want to click on that. Once you get that, you're going to get a white box right here that says clear browsing data. You want to make sure you're in basic, and with the time range, it automatically puts you on the last hour. You want to switch it to all time. Double check that all 3 of these checks are clear or checked. And then you're going to click clear data. You want to make sure that you're doing this every so often. If you have any passwords saved or things stored on the computer, this will not clear that out. You will still have your automatic saved passwords and anything you've stored on the computer. This just kind of gets rid of some of that backup that we have. Now we're going to talk about who to call. Who do you contact when tech goes wrong? The office is open and available for calls from 7:30 until 3:30. So anytime during that time you can call and you'll probably get somebody here. Your tech contacts, the first one I'm going to give you guys my direct line. I am the tech support teacher, so anytime some tech is going wrong and you need some help, you can go ahead and give me a call. Again, my name is Sadie Ton, and on here I've got my direct phone number, so this doesn't go to the front office, it goes to my office, and that number is 509-526-1813. Or you can go ahead and feel free to email me. I answer emails within 24 hours that you send it to me. I'm really good at getting a response. So if you're having an issue, you can also feel free to email me. My email is just ston@wwps.org. The other people you can call are our two lovely secretaries, Nicole and Erica. They can help reset a password, and they know basic troubleshooting. So if you are having just a quick issue that you need solved, they can help you down in the front office as well. And the school's phone number to get to the front office is 509-527-3072. All right. So now we're going to talk about logging in and how to get onto some of these most used sites. This is going to be really quick, really simple. We're going to discuss how to get onto Google Classroom, which I'm sure a lot of us already know how to do. We're going to talk about how to get onto iReady, RazKids, Edgenuity, and Typing Club. So the first thing you're going to need to know is how to get to the Edison Shortcuts page. This page is your lifeline. It's got all the links that you might need right on one page. So to get to this home page, on your student's Chromebook, near where the URL would be for a website, you're going to see a little home button. You're going to go ahead and click that home button on your student's Chromebook, and it should open the Student Shortcuts page, which is this yellowy orangey page that says Edison Elementary School. So to get to Google Classroom, if you need to know, it's on this home page, and it's that very first link under Core Instruction. You can't really read it right here, but it says Core Instruction. You're going to go ahead and click Google Classroom, and then you just open up and choose your student's classroom on the selection, and you're going to want to click the words of the classroom. That'll get you into the classroom, and that is where your student's Zoom link is posted. The next site we're going to talk about is Edgenuity. Again, you're going to go to that shortcuts page, so click that home button, and then right below Google Classroom, you're going to see Edgenuity, Social Studies, and Science. You're going to want to click that. That will open up the Student Information System, or the SIS system. Your login, your student's login, is their student ID, so that 7-digit number with the 08 at wwps.org. And currently everybody's password is capital WALLA 2021, or WALLA 2021. The next site is iReady. So iReady can be a little tricky just because we have two links right below it that say Ready Classroom Math and Ready Gen Reading and Writing. So we want to make sure that you're clicking the iReady lesson pathways again on that Edison Shortcuts page. This is hooked up with our Clever system, so you should not have to log in. It might log you in automatically, but if not, you're going to get what's called a Clever badge, and you're going to have the option to sign in with Google. You're going to want to click Sign in with Google. The next one is Typing Club. I'm a big supporter of Typing Club. Going on a little spiel for just a second. Typing Club is a really great resource, and it really helps your students as they get into those upper grades and middle school. It's a really good skill, even for our younger kiddos, K1 to use, because it really helps them work on finding the keys on the keyboard and learning those really early typing skills. Anyway, to get to Typing Club, you're again going to go to that Edison Shortcuts page, and under Learning Extensions, you're going to find Typing Club right here. And that is again hooked up to our Clever system. So if you don't get in automatically, just go ahead and click Sign in with Google, and it should log you right in. And the last one is RazKids. RazKids, again, you're going to want to get to that Edison Shortcuts page, and then under Learning Extensions, it says Raz plus Online Reading. You're going to go ahead and select that. And again, it's hooked up with Clever, so you're just going to click Sign in with Google. All right, that is it. That's what I've got to share with you. If you have any questions, you feel free to call me. Again, my number is 509-526-1813, or go ahead and send me an email. My email is ston@wwps.org. Thanks, Edison families. Have a great night.